Welcome back to the Stoic Compass. I'm Eleanor Vance, and today we're discussing something that's going to make Jim uncomfortable.
Why do you always start like that?
Because it's accurate. We're examining women's empowerment, not as a slogan, but as urgent systemic action. And before you ask, yes, the Stoics have relevant insights.
I wasn't going to ask that. Well, I'll be darned. Okay, I was going to ask that.
Jim Walker, everyone. Predictable since 2000 whatever. Quick reminder, if you enjoy watching Jim learn about systemic inequality, hit that subscribe button. So here's the reality. Despite decades of progress, millions of women face barriers in economic, social, and political participation. Jim, guess how many girls worldwide are out of school right now?
Oh no, you're doing the quiz thing again.
Guess.
I don't know, 10 million?
122 million. And women account for nearly 2/3 of all adults who cannot read.
That's way worse than I thought.
It's always worse than you think. And here's where the Stoics become relevant. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we're all members of one body, humanity. When millions of women are excluded from education and economic participation, we're actively harming the collective.
Okay, but what does that actually mean in practice? Like, what are the specific problems?
Excellent question. Let's start with economic barriers. In many low-income regions, women cannot own property, get paid fairly, or even secure the basic identification documents needed to open a bank account.
Wait, they can't open a bank account?
No identification documents, no bank account, no business. Despite producing food, women often have no legal rights to the land they cultivate. They're cut off from financial independence.
That's insane. They do the work but don't own anything?
Precisely. And even when they do find work, women face lower wages, job uncertainty, and weak maternity support. Many must choose between making a living and caring for their families.
That's not a choice. That's a trap.
Indeed, but let us consider, the Stoics called this a failure of justice. Epictetus taught that we should treat all people according to their worth as rational beings. Systematically excluding half the population from economic participation violates this principle.
So what's the solution? And please don't say awareness.
Awareness is actually the first step, but I know why you're skeptical. Awareness without action is useless. However, public awareness campaigns have driven real change.
Like what?
In 2014, UN Women launched the He for She campaign, engaging men as allies in gender equality. The Me Too movement in 2017 exposed workplace harassment globally, prompting stricter labor laws.
Okay, but those are big movements. What about practical solutions for individuals?
Non-formal education and skills training. Traditional education isn't accessible to many women due to poverty, social norms, or family responsibilities. Vocational training offers alternatives.
Give me an example.
In Tunisia, a digital training initiative for rural women taught e-commerce, marketing, and coding. Participants secured remote employment and achieved financial independence. In India, the Self-Employed Women's Association helped millions acquire skills in agriculture, textiles, and small business management.
So instead of traditional school, you teach marketable skills directly?
Exactly. You meet people where they are. The Stoics understood this. They emphasized practical wisdom over abstract theory. What good is philosophy if it doesn't improve lives?
Fair point. But what about women who are already working? What are their biggest problems?
The gender pay gap. Women typically earn about 20% less than men. This isn't because they work less. It's occupational segregation, discrimination, and undervaluation of female-dominated roles.
20%? That's huge.
And that's the average. In some sectors, it's worse. Then there's unpaid care work, childcare, elder care, household management. This keeps women out of formal employment, reinforcing economic exclusion.
So they're working, just not getting paid for it.
Right. Now let's talk about maternity discrimination, because this is where things get really frustrating.
Oh boy.
Women face an unfair choice, career or motherhood. Many regions lack adequate paid maternity leave. This forces women into financial insecurity during pregnancy and early childcare. And this isn't just developing countries. Many nations still lack proper maternity protections.
Wait, which countries?
The United States, for one. No federal paid maternity leave. Women face job insecurity, hiring bias, and limited career progression simply for becoming mothers.
Well, I'll be darned. That's embarrassing.
It should be. Pregnancy should never threaten financial stability. Strong maternity rights are essential for a fair workforce. The Stoics believed in living according to nature. Having children is literally natural. Punishing women for it is absurd.
What else are we doing wrong?
Workplace harassment and violence. Many women fear retaliation and lack proper reporting channels. Occupational segregation confines women to lower-paying sectors, and migrant domestic workers, a particularly vulnerable group, often endure exploitation, long hours, withheld wages, and abuse without legal protections.
This is depressing. Is there any good news?
The good news is we know exactly what needs to happen. Enforce equal pay legislation, strengthen maternity rights, take decisive action against workplace discrimination, expand childcare services, promote shared domestic responsibilities.
Those all sound reasonable. So why aren't we doing them?
Because women are underrepresented in politics. When female voices are missing from policy discussions, legislation ignores their realities. This is critical. Without women at the decision-making table, especially women from marginalized groups, nothing changes.
So it's a cycle. Women can't influence policy because they're not in politics. They're not in politics because of systemic barriers. Barriers persist because women can't influence policy.
Exactly. You're learning. The Stoics called this understanding the interconnectedness of things. Marcus Aurelius wrote that everything is woven together. Pull one thread, the whole fabric moves.
Okay, so what's the Stoic solution here? And don't just say virtue.
Collective action rooted in justice. Governments must uphold equal pay, paid maternity leave, and robust legal protections. Businesses must commit to fair wages and inclusive leadership development. Grassroots organizations and labor unions must amplify women's voices.
But what can individuals do? Like, what can our listeners actually do?
Support organizations working on women's education and economic empowerment. Advocate for policy changes in your community. If you're a business owner, audit your pay practices. If you're a manager, mentor women in your organization. If you're a man, recognize your privilege and use it to elevate women's voices.
That last one's important. I have to ask, though, why is this a Stoic issue? Can't we just call it a human rights issue?
Indeed, but let us consider. Stoicism is fundamentally about living according to nature and contributing to the common good. Women are half of humanity. Excluding them from full participation harms everyone. It's not just morally wrong, it's economically irrational.
How so?
When women are educated and economically empowered, entire communities thrive. Children are healthier, economies grow, innovation increases. You're literally leaving money and progress on the table by excluding women.
So it's enlightened self-interest.
Partially. But more than that, it's recognizing our shared humanity. The article I'm referencing ends with something powerful. Women are the mothers of all mankind, not just giving life, but shaping societies, leading change, and driving progress.
That's a strong statement.
It's true. Women build families, strengthen communities, and power economies, often against immense odds. When women are given opportunities, nations thrive. This isn't hyperbole, it's documented fact.
So the Stoic perspective is that empowering women isn't charity. It's justice and practical necessity.
Precisely. Marcus Aurelius wrote that what brings no benefit to the hive brings no benefit to the bee. We're interconnected. Your well-being depends on collective well-being. Excluding half the population makes everyone worse off.
Well, I'll be darned. That actually reframes the entire discussion.
That's the point. Stoicism isn't about accepting injustice. It's about recognizing what's within our control and taking action. We can't control systemic barriers overnight, but we can control our choices, our advocacy, and our commitment to justice.
Okay, so I have to ask. What's one concrete thing you want listeners to do after hearing this episode?
Research one organization working on women's empowerment in your area or internationally. Look at their programs, education, vocational training, legal advocacy, then either donate, volunteer, or share their work. One action. That's all I'm asking.
That's reasonable. I can do that.
Good. Then you're already practicing Stoic principles, turning philosophy into action.
And if people want to learn more about this topic,
the original article is on capacity4dev.europa.eu. It's written by Tatiana Margalitadze from the Georgian Development Foundation. She provides actionable solutions and statistics we couldn't cover in 8 minutes.
This was heavy, but important.
The most important conversations usually are. And this is what Stoicism demands: engaging with difficult realities rather than avoiding them. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of women's empowerment and Stoic justice. Remember, awareness without action is worthless.
If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe and share it. These conversations matter.
Until next time, take action, practice justice, and recognize our shared humanity.
Stay committed, stay curious, and as always, think about what's actually within your control to change.
This podcast is powered by voxcrea.ai, where ideas find their voice.